All right, so what happened recently, or I guess the happening is recent, is that the Powderhorn Park has begun to balloon as a site for homeless people to pitch a tent and live. And if you are not blind and you've been living in Minneapolis for the past, even 2 years, you've seen the homeless encampments start to post up on Hiawatha on 55. And what is just, in the beginning I thought, hey, we need to give money to reclaim the block and change these laws. And the narrative for that got changed around pretty quick because defunding the police wasn't as easy as singing Kumbaya in Powderhorn Park with the city council. It wasn't as easy as celebrating city council members that, particular ones of color, that said a white man, Jacob Fry, is the new leader of Black Lives Matter. It wasn't as easy as, signing, having the city council say they're going to do something finally. It wasn't that easy. And so I kind of I didn't get off the Reclaim the Block train, but I just said, okay, I can assert my energy somewhere else. And then it went to, I think it went to a different collective. I said, okay, we need to, I forget what it was, but it was a different cause. And then you go to Powderhorn Park. You go to Powderhorn Park and you see how this city feels about its most vulnerable people. You see how the city leaders feel about brown and black people, and how they feel about brown and black youth, and how they feel about poor youth. And you see exactly where Jacob Fry, where his interests lie. You see exactly where the city council's interests lie. You see all of it right there. As I say, at certain protests, we wouldn't be here if you were doing your job. The Powderhorn encampment wouldn't be there if the city council and the mayor and the governor had done their job. That wouldn't exist. You would have affordable housing, and you wouldn't have an entire encampment that is continually growing. You wouldn't have children sleeping on the damn ground. You wouldn't have people resorting to, you wouldn't have cops, and this is by way of rumor, and I've heard this from somebody, that cops are rounding up homeless people and taking them to the Powderhorn encampment with the intention of causing more chaos there, to say, well, you don't want us to be here, this is what you get. The leaders and the police in these particular cases are not only abject failures, they are working against the people. And it's this idea to possibly, this is like a more massive bait. It's pitting us into a corner and seeing if we say, well, I guess we do need cops. Oh, I guess we do need the mayor. Oh, I guess we do need city council to defund the police. Well, it wasn't that easy, because if you knew anything about defunding the police, you'd know that we'd have to change the charter. So what happened after defunding the police? Then you go to, oh, we got to change the charter. Why didn't anybody say that in the beginning? It just, the narratives kill me, but the focus right now is the Powderhorn encampment. And I'm not sorry I'm getting riled up. It's just when you go there, you feel the energy and you feel the absolute disgust for the leadership in this city. And I don't want to hand out to any group. I'll help any group that wants my help. We will come there, we will film, we will talk to your people, but I will always reroute people to Powderhorn encampments. Bring fresh food, bring the most expensive backpack, bring the most expensive tent you can find, bring the most expensive sleeping bag you can find. That's step one. That's the immediate need. Now we got a long-term need after that, affordable housing. Now, if the mayor was interested in that, there wouldn't be celebrations of building these condos that touch the clouds. There wouldn't be celebrations of, hey, we're going to take down Kmart and build some more condos or unaffordable housing. We're going to just basically drive up the property value and drive out all these black and brown bodies somewhere and have these white folks come in. That wouldn't be happening. And so the immediate need is get to Powderhorn Park right now and help out. And the next step need is to get rid of the leadership. They all got to go. They'll get jobs elsewhere. They'll get a job somewhere else. Nobody's saying like deplatform or cancel them. It's just saying, Lisa Bender can go somewhere else. She can go shovel a sidewalk. She can go make a bike lane somewhere else, but she doesn't need to be doing it on the city council's time. Like, they gotta go. They all have to go, because this is what we get. This is what we get. What good are bike lanes if nobody has enough money to buy a bike to bike on them? What a privileged idea. Bike lanes. Wow. Let's figure out more. Let's like, you know, just figure out more accessible bike lanes and you know, shoveled sidewalks and all this stuff. But what does that mean if you're homeless? I go back to working with youth and working with homeless youth, homeless and highly mobile, we called them. And it's tough to focus on school when you're homeless. It's tough to focus on anything when you're homeless. I'm not speaking from experience, but I'm speaking from when I work with these children. And there's trauma, there's rage, there's anger, and a lot of them don't know where it's coming from. They can point at it and say, well, it's because I'm homeless, but there's just a gradient of emotion there. And it's hard to worry about privileged wants and needs when you're going through that. And so you have to understand that not only are we physically seeing like a displaced community, we're also seeing them publicly humiliated. And we're also, what we're not seeing is the absolute trauma that we're creating in these children and that we're creating in these adults by just abandoning them to an encampment. The immediate need is to go to the encampment. Next up, the leadership has got to go. Long-term, affordable housing. And I'll talk more about that, but I'm not here to solve the entire, like, create a utopia. I just want to speak immediately to Powderhorn because this needs to happen. And I just get emotional talking about it because it is just, that's what it is. It's right there. It's right the F there. And if you look no further than Powderhorn encampments, because that's where the abject failure is for all these leaders that said that they were about that life, but yet the encampment grew. And the sad thing is when the initial encampment started on Hiawatha, city council couldn't figure it out. And so I believe it was a certain tribe that had to come through and give them give the homeless people like a temporary place to stay. Like, why can't the government come in and help this out? This is mind-blowing to me. I'm gonna learn more about this because this is my main focus right now. This and amplifying the voices of families that have been traumatized and affected by police brutality, and then also amplifying the voices of black women and non-black males, black bodies that are not male. So that's the focus. But this is something. This is urgent, and we all got to chip in. We all got to get in there. And I know you might feel a little, you know, uncomfortable there, but so what? Like, people live there. Like, you get to go back home. I get to come back home to a freaking apartment with windows. Like, how damn grateful am I? I mean, just really apply yourself to where the need is. Get to Powderhorn Park right now. I'm gonna figure out a website that you can possibly source funds to or volunteer at. And the second thing I'll say is, as kids, when we go to homeless shelters and help them out, a big thing that the staff there would say is, you know what, they're gonna come here and get food. It's fine. But, damn it, fuck. You see, you gotta talk to them so they feel like humans, because not a lot of people talk to them. And when we talk about going to these volunteer tents and helping out, it's cool, it's great. And like, the volunteer tents are gonna be great, they're gonna be awesome. But I think there's also a need to directly give. Like, I think there's this wall that we've built up. You're like, hey, I'm gonna give to this charity who's gonna give to another charity who gives to them. You can show your ass up and give directly to these people. And you can show your ass up and talk to these people. You can show your ass up and actually ask them what they need. You don't need to go to the board. Don't go to the board that says, hey, here's what the needs are and here's what we don't need. You can actually ask the people. And you don't need to apply yourself to this wall between people that have homes and people who are experiencing homelessness. You can really go there and talk to those people. Like, that's being about the life. Like, really getting in there. Get to know somebody who's experiencing homelessness. Don't get to know the volunteers. Like, get to know the volunteers. I shouldn't say that, but get to know the people that are there and ask them what do they need. Ask them how they're feeling, because I can guarantee you. I can't guarantee you, but I can imagine that city council has not gone there and asked them how they feel. I can imagine that Jacob Fry has never shown up and asked them how they feel. I can imagine Tim Walz has never shown up and asked a homeless person how they feel. So I suggest you to do that. And then there's going to be a link in the comments below. And geez, I just get so worked up about this. But when you go there, you'll feel that energy. You'll feel it. So best of luck with that, and do not wait. You should be there right now. You should have been there yesterday. All right, we'll see you in the next video.